It's amazing to have mentors, but at some point you need to fail and feel the pain and the suffering in order for you not to put your hands on the fire.
They're the most meaningful lessons, right? Experience is the best teacher. You can read it in a book, just like you said. You can hear the lesson from somebody that you love, like your grandfather, but sometimes you just need to experience it for yourself for it to be real.
Welcome to the Bravery Podcast. I am your host, David Mancella. As always, I would like to say what this podcast is about. It's one of the best business podcasts that focuses on interviewing people that have become entrepreneurs that are changing this world for a better place. And what a beautiful example as today's guest, Frank Ligan, brother. Welcome to the show.
It's so good to be here, David. It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. Frank, as usual, to start, can you tell me your full name? Where do you live and what do you do for a living?
Sure. My name is Frank Ligan. I live in the Forest City, beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, on the shores of Lake Erie. A really beautiful place with great people, and we've made it our home pretty much our whole lives. And I'm a financial advisor with Cedarbrook Group, and we're also based in Cleveland. That's where our world headquarters is. And we're helping clients every day through a unique process that we call the humanity factor.
Wow, the humanity factor. I don't see the connection between that and giving advice on investments and finances. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, good. So, humanity is, the quality of kindness of being human. And factor is one who actively contributes to a result or an achievement. And we think that the humanity factor really is our belief that putting our clients as the central figure in their own planning, together we can accomplish unprecedented results. And, people in our business try to make things about the numbers first and mostly. Tell me when you want to retire and how much you want to live on. We do the math and help. And it's not that isn't important, it is. But that doesn't really honor who somebody is as a father, a mother, a business owner, an entrepreneur, a doctor, a lawyer, a creative. And so we have a process around understanding somebody fully on the kind of softer things as opposed to the hard number type things that you might come to expect from people in a business like ours.
That's amazing. It's a completely different approach. People only focus on numbers and results and money, right? You're going through the lens of a human approach. How is that affecting your business? I guess that gives you a blue ocean, right? Because nobody's doing that in your industry.
We think it's very unique. We set out to find a way to describe what it is that we do 8 or 9 years ago. We've been doing this for a long time. We really wanted to find a way to describe it, to differentiate ourselves. And, we have a story that we tell. And there are 3 branches kind of to the tree. And the first we call Mind Your Bliss. And Mind Your Bliss is about the people and things that are most important to you. In our lives, we're so busy, we just kind of go. And we really kind of stop and take stock of today and the past. We want to know about clients, their wins, their losses, the things that have affected them. And this very much applies back to the gap and gain concept that I know, you and I have talked about before with Strategic Coach, that when you're starting from a place of gratitude, when you're looking back at what you've accomplished, instead of looking out at the horizon and comparing yourself to some ideal future, that's a much different mindset, a much different feeling. And the conversations that flow from that gratitude are much more meaningful. And we love those. The second branch of the tree we call Cultivate Your Contributions. And that's really about having the right people in the room. So we're very collaborative in the work that we do. And, I only have a finite amount of knowledge in my mind, but I have these wonderful partners and people that we work with who have their own life experiences, their own set of knowledge, and we feel that we come up with a much better result on behalf of our clients, working together collaboratively instead of just kind of working in our own silo. And then the third we call the leadership lever. And that's about when we get back to the busyness of our lives, we want to make sure that the aspirations and goals of our clients are still front and center. And so we have permission from our clients to innovate on their behalf, even when we're not together. And we feel like it's just a really good formula. And it's very much, David, a magnet or a filter. You know, there are some people that really are about the numbers first and mostly, and that's okay. You know, if that's what makes them tick, that's okay. You know, we're not for them. But for those that want to look at things in this humanity-driven way, we feel that the results are better, and the relationships are better too.
Yeah, you touch a great point because at the end of the day, we are humans. And if we put money and finances first in our priority list, we end up losing. We might be getting more money, but we lose everything else that makes us happy, right? For us, coming back to the gratitude idea, I changed my company values a couple of years ago when we implemented EOS. And the first thing that we said is we have to be grateful. Because if you're not in a place of gratitude, you can never achieve more. And if you achieve more, you always want more. And by wanting more, you're never happy because you're never in a state of humbleness and gratitude. So we changed our approach and we said, okay, we have to be humble enough to be grateful for what we got so far. Then we have to have a state of growth because we're meant to grow. We're meant to achieve more, especially if we're making this world a better place. And that gives us a sense of having a better future. And the last thing for us is giving back unconditionally. So the last value in our company is give back. And when you mix those three ingredients into your daily life, what you get is a sense of continuous happiness. Because gratitude creates also a state of, it's a state where you don't want more, but you still want to achieve more just to help others. You know what I mean? Contentment is a big thing in my life. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get more or achieve more, because God has put me in this place to create more abundance for everybody. But if I'm content, that means I'm grateful for what I have, which means in the present moment, I got all I need.
That is so powerful, David. I am. It's not uncommon for us to meet people somewhere on their path where they're on their way to 40 years with their heads down, just kind of like putting money away, accumulating resources. And what we don't want to see happen is for somebody to wake up on that arbitrary day in the future when they decide that it's over and say, what now? That would be tragic, right? Those resources are really meant, most importantly, to spend with the people and on the things that they care most about. So much of what we are as entrepreneurs is about confidence. And when you're creating value like that and you're in deep relationships like that with your clients, that's very confidence giving. And certainly, that happens at home too. I couldn't have gotten as far as I have in my life, without my wife. She's an angel. She keeps us centered. She's very good at keeping me confident and grounded. And to live that every day is a blessing.
Yeah, that's another point. Family. So, I've been talking about the idea of, so my faith is Christianity. So I want to make a business group around Christian values. And I was discussing with another good friend of mine from our network, from our strategic coach network. And we were trying to define the pillars of this group. If it ever happens, I don't know if it's going to happen. But it's the pillars of most of us that are good entrepreneurs. So that the priority order will be faith, family, what you just talked about, and business. And the three of them are important, but they have to be in that priority. If you put that in your life, I have put business as first priority in my life for many years, and I almost lose my family, and I almost lose my faith. And then when I realized that there is no more in the world that could pay for faith or family, then you just start waking up to the fact that you better put your priorities in order.
I couldn't agree with you more. I found a point in my life where that was the case too. My family was in jeopardy based on the business and the head down growth. And faith and family are so important. We're kindred spirits, David.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, we are, and also we have come to realize, I think we're old enough to know that we came naked to the world and we're going to live naked, right? that doesn't mean to build that you cannot build wealth and leave it to your family. I want to leave a legacy, right? I want my kids and my grandkids and my great grandkids to have a better life that I had. But that doesn't mean I need to die for that money and not enjoy what God has given me already, which is beautiful family and my faith, right? And by the way, you and everybody else in my network is part of my extended family, right? It enriches my life, right?
Yeah, and you feel it, and just dealing with you, it's authentic, it's real.
How did you get into this business, Frank? I know that you've been working at it for a long time, and I also know that being an entrepreneur is the hardest thing that anybody can choose to do in the free world, right? So let's go back to your high school. What were you doing in your high school, the last year of high school?
Oh, wow. So playing baseball, that was my fun thing. That was what drove me. And, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer heading into college. So made a complete, 180 from that.
Did you ever pursue law school, or you went into just...
I went into college thinking that was my path, and it wasn't. I found myself shortly into my academic career. I got a job working with my parents' financial planner, and so I got my first taste of the business and what that looks like and what helping people looks like. And from that moment on, I was hooked.
Oh, how did that happen? And were you in university already when you started working for your parents' financial planner?
Actually, I was in graduate school, so I did graduate school right after undergrad. Thinking that I wanted to do a couple of other things. But the entrepreneurial bug was always inside of me. I definitely have my own way of doing things. I don't like to be told what to do. I feel like I'm unemployable in that way. I'm raising a daughter the same way. It's in the genes, right? So, yeah. And, the freedom and flexibility, you're limited only by your imagination. You're limited only by your ability to make meaningful relationships with other people, to solve problems for them. And once I realized that was the key to success, was really, trying to be a hero to those people that you want to be a hero to, find a way to solve their problems, find a way to clean up messes for them, find a way to give them clarity and confidence in their bigger future. It was off to the races, and I've made a life out of it that I'm obviously very grateful for and excited to talk to you about.
That's beautiful. Now, did you finish your graduate school, or do you jump right into working for your mentor, basically? He was your mentor, I guess, right?
He was, and very good man, good mentor. But no, I actually took a job doing something else to put food on the table, wanted to get married and start a family. So the idea of, being the entrepreneur from go was a little scary, so I didn't take the leap right away. But as soon as my wife and I got settled, and again, this goes back to the confidence thing and having that supported home, she's been incredibly encouraging, and we took the leap together. There's no way to do that alone. You take that leap together, and without her full love and support, wouldn't be here right now.
It's our lives are so similar. I actually took a 10-year unrelated path to entrepreneurship. I was an employee for 10 years. But that's because as soon as I graduated college as a computer scientist, I thought I was going to become a computer software consultant. I would start writing programs for people. But I didn't know that I was a junior developer, and nobody wanted to hire a junior developer. Nobody would trust me with their projects, right? So, but back then I told, my wife actually supported me. She said, start your own business right after college and we'll see how it goes. 2 years into that, I lost all the financing that I got from the government. I was up to here in debt, and I wasn't making it meet, and my wife was supporting the family. I had 2 little kids back then. So it was time to see what happened. So I was thankful that I could actually sell the business. I sold it for the debt that I had. So I came out clean, and I got my first job, and I was so thankful for that. Because I was able to put, put on the table for the first time.
That alignment is just so important with family. So how long into that job before you were unsatisfied and wanted to go down the entrepreneurial track again?
It's funny because those 2 years financially were very hard for us as a family. So I got traumatized by the scarcity, and I got this spirit of scarcity mentality with me that it took me, oh my God, it took me 15 years to get rid of. So two things happened. About a year into the new job, but even before that, I got a call from a company that wanted me to write a software program for them, a point of sale system. So I had to call my boss and ask him if I could do this part-time, and my boss told me, yeah, no problem. They changed my contract. So I basically had my own business from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. And then I was a full-time employee from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I ended up doing that for 8 years.
Wow.
But the problem with that is we did great financially. That allowed my wife to stay home with the kids. By then we had 3 kids. So she was a staying at home mom, and she was going back to university, by the way. So again, the support of the wife, right? My wife is my life partner. I mean, she finished computer science herself while taking care of the kids. I have no idea how he did that. She did that because being a mom for 3 kids is a full-time job. And then she found a professional job as a database analyst. And once she had that stability in the house and she was able to pay for the mortgage and the food, then we agreed to try to do my business again. So that took about 10 years altogether. And then, but she told me, okay, this is the last time we try to do this as a family. You have 5 years to retire me. If within 5 years you're not making enough money, then you have to get a job. So that was our plan. And exactly 5 years in, I was able to hire her back into the company. And now she's never retired. I mean, she's running the real estate portfolio of our company, but she owns her own time, which is what she wanted.
Yes. Parallel lives, David. Parallel lives.
Tell me about you. So you had a full-time job. What did you do on your full-time job?
So I was a consultant to local governments. I have a master's degree in public administration, and that's what I did. I had an interest in that. I used that. I was an elected official for 8 years. At the beginning of my marriage, I was a city council person in the town where we lived. Got that out of my system, and as soon as I walked through the front door of this place here at Cedarbrook, it was just meant to be. Just totally.
Wow. So you gave up a public office career to try something that you don't even know if it's going to work out. How was that mentality?
Faith. So a big part of it was faith. A big part of it was the confidence of my wife, her faith in me that I could do it. And then once I started to get the first taste of, satisfying others by just creating value, solving problems, cleaning up messes, it was off to the races from that. And it was just, this is amazing. It gave me so much energy, it gave me so much enthusiasm, gave me so much confidence to keep going.
Now, how similar is your business compared to your when you were serving for the city?
Well, I would say that some of the similarities are that you have to be a really good listener. So you work for them, right? So we work for our clients. That's the only way that I'm in business is if I have satisfied clients.
Right.
The only way that I was going to make it, in a local government is if you had satisfied residents. Mm-hmm. And one of the humbling things about that part of things is that no matter how many votes you got, there were more people who didn't vote for you than did. And so, keeping that humility and understanding is really important. And on the business side of things, it means that, we can't be everything to everyone. Not everyone's going to be a client. So this humanity factor thing is very much a magnet or a filter. We're not going to be for everyone. But the good news is that the filter works to make your life easier. So if you're not going to be a match with someone, don't work together. right?
Yeah.
And the magnet is that if you attract the right people who have the same values as you, it's a really good life. You know, I skip in and out of here every day because the relationships that we have with the people that we work with are really nice.
You know, I made that mistake when I started my business. I mean, I had no clients. So I will work for anybody that was willing to pay me. And I did that for 3 years, and it was horrible because I allowed people to abuse me. They didn't have the same values as I had. I always consider that my last client is my strongest client because I'm based on reputation and referrals. So until I started learning, right, I started getting mentors, and then I started realizing, no, I get the chance to choose my clients. I don't have to work just for anybody. So now when we get a client, 80% of their values have to match our values. And otherwise we don't work for them because life is too short, like you said, right? How long did it take for you to learn that? You must have had either a good mentor that allowed you to avoid that, or you actually fell miserably the way that I did.
Yeah, no, it took me a long time. I kind of yada through the tough parts leading up to it. A lot of hard lessons learned. You know, sometimes the phone would ring and you'd cringe, right? You'd see who it was and you just like, you know, this is going to be a workout. They're going to give me a hard time for whatever reason that had nothing to do with me, and everything to do with them and maybe where they were in their life and what they had going on around them. So no, definitely learn the hard way. I mean, in the beginning, you do everything you can just to keep the lights on. You know, I had a wife at home that I had to, you know, care for and provide for. I wanted to, and a daughter the same. So that there was no plan B. I mean, plan A was to make it work. Mm-hmm. But I learned definitely learned the hard way. But better for it because you know when you live that pain and you know that discomfort that comes from the wrong relationship, it makes it easier to say no when you can see it coming from a mile away.
You know, my grandfather just used to say, I can teach you how to ride a bike. I can show you videos. I can give you all the theory, but until you get on that bike and bruise your knees, you will not learn how to do it. And so that it's amazing to have mentors. But at some point, you need to fail and feel the pain and the suffering in order for you not to put your hands on the fire.
Yes.
Right?
They're the most meaningful lessons, right? Experience is the best teacher. You can read it in a book, just like you said. You can hear the lesson from somebody that you love, like your grandfather, but sometimes you just need to experience it for yourself for it to be real.
I remember when I quit I had a very good job. Like, you know, I had a corner office. I was a technology leader for this $500 million corporation. And when I quit, I felt like I had no more glory.